All right, let's talk about something we all think we know, vitamin D. But here's the thing. What if I told you it's not a vitamin at all? Yeah, really, it's something way, way more powerful. Let's dive in.
You've seen these bottles everywhere, right? And the first thing that pops into your head is probably bones. And yeah, you're not wrong, but that's kind of like saying your smartphone is just for making calls. The real story here is so much bigger. This isn't just a nutrient, it's a command system for your whole body.
Okay, so here's the big reveal. The reason it's not really a vitamin? Well, think of most vitamins as like the pit crew in a race. They help things run smoothly. But vitamin D? It's the driver. It gets right into the control center of your cells, the nucleus, and starts giving direct orders to your DNA. It's literally telling your genes to turn on or turn off. That's not a vitamin. That's a hormone. Plain and simple. And the reach of this hormone, it's just staggering. I mean, think about it. For these orders to be heard, there has to be a mailbox, a docking station in each cell. These are called vitamin D receptors, or VDRs for short. And guess where they are? Everywhere. Your brain, your immune cells, your gut, you name it. They all have these little landing pads just waiting for instructions from vitamin D. That's a huge clue right there. Your body wouldn't build them in almost every tissue if this stuff wasn't absolutely vital.
So, okay, our body is clearly screaming for this stuff, but how do we actually get it ready to use? It's not as simple as you'd think. It's not just, pop a pill and you're good to go. There's this whole incredible journey it has to take, transforming from sunshine into a full-blown super hormone.
It's this really cool four-step process. First, UVB rays from the sun hit your skin and zap a type of cholesterol, turning it into pre-vitamin D3. Then just your own body heat cooks that into the stable version, vitamin D3. Step 3, it zips over to your liver. The liver converts it into its storage form. And this is key. This is the one your doctor is actually testing for in your blood. But get this, it's still not the final active form. For the grand finale, it has to go to your kidneys and a few other places to become calcitriol. That's the real powerhouse, the hormone that can finally talk to your genes.
So that whole journey sounds pretty automatic, right? Sun, skin, liver, kidneys, done. But here's where it gets really interesting. There's a massive catch. This entire assembly line can just stop. It can grind to a complete halt if you're missing a few critical ingredients. See, vitamin D is the star player for sure, but it can't win the game alone. It needs a support team, its cofactors. You've got zinc, which basically builds the docking station, the VDR we talked about. Then there's vitamin K2, which is like the traffic cop for calcium, making sure it goes into your bones where you want it and not into your arteries where you don't. Boron helps vitamin D stick around longer. But the real MVP of this support team, the one you absolutely cannot do without, is magnesium. And this is non-negotiable. Every single step of that activation process, in the liver, in the kidneys, every single enzyme that does the work needs magnesium to function. Every single one. So you can be supplementing with all the vitamin D in the world, get tons of sunshine, but if you're low on magnesium, it's like having a key but the lock is rusted shut. The vitamin D just stays in its storage form, totally useless.
Okay, so we've gone deep into the why. Now let's switch gears and get super practical. What can you actually do about all this? How do you get your levels where they need to be?
All right, let's rank the sources. The undisputed champion, sunlight. It's free, and your body is brilliant. It has a built-in off switch, so you can never overdose from the sun. But, and this is a big but, let's be real, most of us just aren't outside enough. So for pure reliability, a good D3 supplement is the next best thing. Fatty fish like salmon are great too. And those fortified foods, honestly, the dose is usually too low to make a big difference.
Okay, so what number are we actually aiming for? When you get a blood test, this is what you're looking at. If your number is below 20, that's not great. You're considered insufficient or even deficient. The target zone, the sweet spot for most of us, is somewhere between 20 and 50. And you don't want to just barely scrape by at 21, right? You want to be comfortably in that healthy range. Maybe think 30 to 50 as a good goal.
Now, if you go to buy a supplement, you'll probably see D2 and D3. This is an easy one. Just get D3, always. Why? Because D3, or cholecalciferol, is the exact same molecule your skin makes from the sun. It's what your body expects. It's way more effective at raising your levels, and it hangs around longer. D2 is just a weaker alternative.
So you might be thinking, I'll just try to get more sun. But here's the thing. Modern life has a bunch of built-in vitamin D blockers. First, age. A 70-year-old's skin makes about 75% less vitamin D than a 20-year-old's from the same amount of sun. Wow. Second, skin tone. Melanin is natural sun protection, which is great, but it also means it takes longer to make D. Third, sunscreen. I mean, we have to use it, but an SPF of 15 blocks nearly all D synthesis. And finally, because it's a fat-soluble hormone, it can get trapped in fat cells, away from your bloodstream where it's actually needed. Which, of course, leads us to the question everyone asks. We've all heard it, right? Just get 20 or 30 minutes of sun a day. So, is that true? Is that lunchtime walk really enough?
The answer from most of us, in a word, no. It's just not.
And here's the reality check. Think about it. Winter. Living far from the equator. Working in an office. I mean, most of us are indoors 90% of the time. Plus, we wear clothes. And then you add in all those individual factors like your age and your skin tone. That daily walk is a nice little boost for sure, but it's almost never enough to keep you in that optimal zone year-round. It's just simple math.
Okay, let's bring it all home. We need to look at the dangers on both sides. What happens when you have too little, and what about too much? Then we'll wrap up with the key takeaways you really need to remember.
So, what are the signs you might be low? The tricky part with a mild deficiency is that the symptoms are, well, they're the symptoms of modern life, right? Feeling tired all the time, weird bone aches, maybe your mood is just kind of blah. But when it gets severe, it's really, really serious. We're talking about incredibly painful, soft bones for adults, and the disease we all heard about as kids, rickets.
So what about the flip side? Can you overdo it from sunlight or food? Absolutely not. Impossible. Your body is too smart for that. The only way it can happen is with supplements, and even then it's pretty rare. You'd have to be taking crazy high doses for a long time, usually without any medical supervision.
And this is a really important point. It's not actually vitamin D poisoning, it's calcium poisoning. What happens is the massive amount of active D hormone tells your gut to absorb way, way too much calcium. Your blood calcium levels shoot through the roof, and that's what can cause some serious damage, especially to your kidneys.
All right, let's do a super quick cheat sheet. The final takeaways. Question 1. Do you need it? Yes, even if you feel healthy. Best source? Sun is king, but D3 supplements are the reliable backup. How much? Get your blood levels between 30 and 50. Can you get enough from a walk outside? It helps, but probably not. And the big one, how do you know for sure? You've got to get a blood test. It's the only way. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Knowing the science is one thing, but now you know that having vitamin D in your blood isn't the end of the story. The real question is yours actually working for you? It's not just about what's on your blood test, it's about whether you have the whole team, especially magnesium, on the field to let it do its incredible job.